What if the biggest threat to your productivity isn't your workload? What if it's the constant interruptions throughout your day? Think about it. Most business owners assume that you're overwhelmed because you have too much to do. But what if the real problem isn't the amount of work? What if it's the fact that you can't stay focused on any one thing long enough to make meaningful progress? Yes. So today I want to talk to you about the hidden cost of interruptions and why they may be stealing more time from you than you realize. But first, I'm curious, how many interruptions do you think you deal with on an average day? Drop a number in the comments and let's see what everyone is saying. Is it 10, 20, 50, more? And when I say interruptions, I'm talking about a text message, an email, a Slack notification, a quick question from a team member, a customer issue, a phone call, the got a minute conversation that takes way more than 1 minute. Think about it and put your number in the comments. Most business owners dramatically underestimate the cost of interruption because each interruption itself seems relatively harmless, like a quick question here, a text message there, someone stopping by your office, and none of those feel like a big deal. In fact, most of them just take a couple of minutes. But what makes interruptions so dangerous is they're disguised as small events. And what most of us don't account for is what happens after the interruption. So let's say you're working on something important, you're focused, you're thinking strategically, and you're making progress. And then someone walks in with a question. You stop what you're doing, you answer the question, and you return to work. Except you don't really return to your work. Not immediately. Your brain has to reload itself. You have to remember where you were. You have to reconnect the dots. You have to rebuild momentum. And that process often takes much longer than the interruption itself. So multiply that by 20, 30, or 50 interruptions throughout the day, and suddenly it's easy to see why you feel busy all day, but you've accomplished very little. And here's what's interesting. Interruptions are rarely the real problem. They're usually symptoms. Think of interruptions as clues. They're telling you something about your business. They're often signals that expectations aren't clear, systems aren't documented, team members don't know what decisions they can make, processes depend too heavily on you. So when someone interrupts you with a question they've asked 3 times before, that's usually not a people problem. It's a systems problem. When team members constantly need approval before taking action, it's not a capability problem. It is a clarity problem. And when customers bypass your team and come straight to you, that's usually not a customer problem. It's a process problem. The interruption is exposing the weakness. So I want you to think about yesterday. How many times did someone interrupt you about something that could have been prevented? Maybe the answer was already documented. Maybe the person could have solved the problem themselves, or maybe the process was unclear, or maybe expectations weren't fully defined. If those interruptions disappeared tomorrow, how much time would you get back? Would it be an hour, 2 hours? Would it be more? And now imagine what you could do with that time. Like you could work on growth, you could develop leaders, you could improve systems, you could strengthen client relationships, you could think strategically instead of constantly reacting. One of the most important shifts a business owner can make is moving from reactive leadership to intentional leadership. Reactive leadership sounds like, what problem do I need to solve next? Whereas intentional leadership sounds like, why does this problem keep showing up? Reactive leaders solve problems. Intentional leaders solve root causes and prevent future problems. And every time you eliminate a recurring interruption, you're improving the health of your business. because the goal isn't to become better at handling interruptions. The goal is to create a business where fewer interruptions happen in the first place. This is one of your fastest ways to reclaim time. And it's not by working harder, it's not by working longer, it's by reducing the unnecessary dependency in your business on you. Because every interruption that disappears creates space for you to think, space for you to lead, space for you to focus on activities that create the most value, the $10,000 an hour activities. And that's where most meaningful growth happens. Every interruption that you eliminate creates space for leadership. And leadership is where your highest value $10,000 an hour work lives. So if you would like to reclaim 10 hours every week without working harder, join us in our upcoming workshop, How to Reclaim 10 Hours of Your Week and Pay Yourself More. We're going to show you how to identify the hidden time drains in your business, how to reduce owner dependency, and how to create a team that can operate with confidence and independence. Register at tapthepotential.com/jumpstart. Thanks for joining me today, and I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next week, track every interruption you experience, not to judge it, not to get frustrated by it, simply to notice it. Because once you start noticing those interruptions, you're going to begin seeing the systems, the processes, and leadership opportunities hiding just underneath those.